The Iranian state media reported the shootdown of a third Israeli F-35 fifth-generation fighter in the country's airspace, following 2 prior reported shootdowns and the capture of a female pilot. The aircraft was reportedly also shot down by ground-based air defense systems, with the pilot surviving and being apprehended. This has brought the total number of F-35 pilots captured to 2. With the large majority of Israeli fighter squadrons considered effectively obsolete, relying on F-15s and F-16s using aging mechanically scanned array radars, the F-35 is relied on heavily to spearhead attacks on Iranian targets, and is the only fighter that retains a degree of survivability for penetration missions deep into Iranian airspace. While F-15s and F-16s fire missiles into Iran from safe distances, the F-35 can overfly high-priority targets such as nuclear sites to drop high-diameter gravity bombs, which have a significantly greater penetrative capacity than air-launched missiles. This is particularly valuable against fortified underground targets, such as parts of the Natanz nuclear facility. With Iran's air defenses having long been considered formidable, the loss of just 3 F-35s during penetration strikes against well-defended targets remains relatively conservative, with much higher loss rates expected had any other Western fighter class been employed for similar attacks. There is a significant possibility that had F-15s or F-16s been used for similar attacks, the majority of the fighters would not have been able to leave Iranian airspace. The F-35 combines a reduced radar cross-section and low-infrared signature with one of the most powerful electronic warfare suites ever integrated onto a fighter. The F-35I variant employed by the Israeli Air Force is the only variant in the world that uses non-American electronic warfare systems, as Israel's defense sector has been granted permission for limited customization of the aircraft, including integration of indigenous subsystems. While these capabilities likely help to limit the losses which F-35s suffered during their penetration strike, the reported disruption of Iranian air defenses due to Israeli drone attacks launched from inside Iranian territory may have also been a major contributor. An evaluation of the Iranian Bavar 373's capabilities provides important insight into the performance attributes which may have allowed it to shoot down Israel's very low observable F-35 fighters, and the likelihood that their deployment to protect key sites in Iran could deter Israel from launching future penetration strikes. Although the Bavar 373 operates as part of a much larger air defense network, which includes long-range Resonance NE radar systems and longer-ranged but less advanced S-200 surface-to-air missile systems, among many other complementary assets, the system is seen to form the backbone of this network. The Bavar 373 began development in the early 2010s, with Iranian sources reporting that this was stimulated by Russia's termination of a deal in 2010 to supply S-300 PMU-1 air defense systems to the country due to Western pressure. The first variant of the indigenous system was unveiled in 2016, which had a reported engagement range of 200 kilometers, although serious questions remained regarding its maturity. The Iranian Defense Ministry's subsequent decision to proceed with the procurement of S-300 PMU-2 air defense systems in 2016 provided an indication that the Bavar 373 could not be fully depended on for long-range air defense roles. Despite the Russian system being close to 2 decades old and dating back to the late 1990s. Commenting on the new Bavar 373 variant unveiled in 2021, Iranian Deputy Defense Minister Brigadier General Mahdi Farahi, who formerly served as the head of the country's aerospace industries organization, claimed in August that year, "New editions of the Bavar 373 are coming, and soon, a new edition that may be at the same or higher level than S-400 will be unveiled." Much like the S-400, the new Bavar 373 variant employed multiple radars operating in complementary wavebands and could reportedly detect up to 300 targets simultaneously while tracking up to 60. Although little was known regarding the system's actual standing against the S-400, the Iranian Defense Ministry's decision not to proceed with the procurement of modern Russian systems, which had long been expected, indicated a high degree of confidence in its standing. Although Iran had no close counterpart to the Russian Resonance NE radar system procured in 2019, which provided a near-unique capability to detect stealth fighters at long ranges, it appeared the country's indigenous long-range surface-to-air missile system was seen to be a sufficiently capable substitute for its Russian-built analog. The consequences of the loss of 3 F-35s in combat will depend heavily on the amount of intelligence which Iran can obtain, both from data on their radar signatures, stealth features, and electronic warfare capabilities during combat, but also from the remains of crashed fighters which may have intact electronics and stealth coatings. This intelligence, and that gained from the interrogation of the 2 surviving pilots, could be of significant interest to Iran's strategic partners such as North Korea and China, which themselves confront significant F-35 fleets deployed by the US and its allies in Northeast Asia. The F-35 was developed under the largest weapons program in history, and is the only fighter of its generation in production in the Western world, where it is heavily depended on to counter China's own J-20 and FC-31 fifth-generation aircraft. The American aircraft was specifically developed with the primary mission of penetrating and neutralizing advanced enemy air defenses, which made it optimal for Israeli operations against Iran and previously against Syria before the state's fall to Turkish and Israeli-backed insurgents in December 2024. Iran's ability to defend against penetration attacks by F-35s is expected to improve both as its armed forces gain a better understanding of the aircraft and as the country begins to receive modern fighter aircraft currently on order to support its ground-based air defenses.